Ty.
All right, girls, we're talking about common walls today. So in strata, advanced people look out for common walls. What are they? Tell you soon. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
The young versus old opinionated property
Yeah.
topics.
And you know what? If you don't know about it, you're not really going to look out for it. So part of today, we want to give you the knowledge on common walls, no common walls, some common walls, lots of little common walls, whatever that is. And in livability from day to day, boy, does it make a difference. It's a ripper.
Yeah, this is all about buyer awareness. And I was just talking to Mark off air about walking down DY beachfront this talking about, different DY and a lot of other suburbs. So much going for it. But one thing that a lot of buyers talk before they've lived in DY is how many apartments they've got. And sure, they're all the same. But that's really true.
Yeah, so, even the amount, I would say it would be, for me, I would say common walls would be more important than price. I think it would be more important than north facing, south facing, west facing that people often are educated about and know about. I think, now don't forget that the floor, I know we're talking about common walls, but the level that you're on also is another form of common floors as well.
Yep.
So, Billy, do you want to tell us a little bit about exactly what a common wall is in an apartment block?
Well, let me just give you the definition rather than trying to make it up myself.
Oh, good, smart. Yep.
Effectively, what we're talking about this morning, common walls are walls shared between two separate properties. Typically found in townhouses, duplex or apartment buildings. They separate the living spaces of adjoining units, meaning both owners or tenants have shared responsibility for maintaining them, but it's a shared wall, right? It's a key part of strata living, and issues like noise or repairs, can arise from them.
Absolutely. And now, first of all, when it comes to a common wall, it does matter what's on the other side. Think about it. If you've got your television unit with your Sonos bass box and you've got their bedroom, their main bedroom on the other side of that common wall, you're going to have them knocking on your door saying, hey, stop watching a movie at 10 o'clock at night. Also, flushing toilets. If your flushing toilet is on, and the opposite side of your flushing toilet system is their bed head on that common wall of another unit, you got a problem. So you always want to, I think you always want to review if you can have, like we've got, I call it the bookend, Billy. So when it's a small block of units, like a block of 4 units or a block of 8 units, for instance, and you're the unit at the end, and you've got windows on the east, you've got windows on the south, and you've got windows on the west. You've got windows on 3 sides, and where your common wall is actually common only with the foyer, the lobby. So you walk into the staircase, upstairs, into the unit, for instance. When you walk into the units, you look left, there's windows, you look right, there's windows, you look at the end, there's windows. That's pretty much no common walls, because you've got the lobby and then you've got window on 3 sides. I call that apartment a bookend apartment. I don't even think you're paying more for it, Billy. I think people actually miss it. They don't know why they like the apartment, but I wouldn't necessarily say you're paying more money, but it's a huge bonus.
And the two biggest positive impacts you get from that is, number one, lack of noise, transferring between properties, probably the most important. But number two, people don't realize is the livability is so much better, because if you can have 2 windows that open in separate sort of aspects, you'll get really nice breezes coming through, and you'll get really good natural light coming through. So you might not be north facing. Shops for it's on everyone's shopping list. I must be north facing. I'm selling a property at the moment that's south facing, but it's got windows on the south and the west side with a little bit of north at the front, three sets all the way around, and people are loving it. They're just saying, wow, it's so bright. Didn't expect that. South facing.
Bit of cross flow, is nice. And also, how would you know there's going to be a little bit of dampness and stuff like that? But when there's cross flow, she's always going to breathe. So, guys and girls, I guess in summary, we want you to know about common walls. We want you to know which common walls are sort of bad ones to have. As I mentioned before, we don't want someone else's services like a toilet on the other side of your bedroom that flushes at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. Have a look for as many common walls, the least amount of common walls as possible, and as many windows as possible, so you get that sort of nice light and air circulation. Have we missed anything on common walls?
Another thing to look out for, sometimes people are conscious of where the lift is positioned in the building. Generally, they're well insulated in these newer buildings. They've really soundproofed them. They have engineers come out and provide a report on soundproofing to a decimal. But that's one thing in sometimes older buildings people are conscious of. Rubbish chutes is another one. The higher you are, the more clunky it gets as the rubbish gets dropped down the building. So that's another thing to look out for. And even if it's not noisy, something like a garbage service might be a bit smelly. So just keep an eye on that.
And then the lobby outside, like if you've got a congregation area outside your front door, sometimes that can be frustrating. So I guess when it comes to common walls, so just make sure your front door is like, how you mentioned that service having that lift at your front door. You may think that's a great idea, but when you got 10 people going out on a Saturday night standing in front of the lift, and that's where your living area is near your front door, that's all about livability as well, guys. So just consider all of those little things when you're looking at common walls. They are money makers over 365 days of a year, over 24 hours a day. These things compound if they're bad, and they'll frustrate you. So, yeah, keep an eye on that bloody common wall.
As you said, it's all about awareness. If you never knew, you'd just think it's all the same on face value. But, yeah, 9,000 apartments in DY, they're all a little different, and that's, I think, makes a big difference in price. Definitely once you've had it, it's like buyers that say, I've lived in north facing, I can't go back. This will be another one for you.
It's one of those as well, isn't it? I've never said common wall so many times.
They ain't so common.
It ain't common. But that's strata living, that's townhouse living, duplex living. And don't forget the slabs are similar as well. If you can be top floor, it just means you've obviously got one less person to worry about on upper and lower. So it's always nice.
That's a good question. If you have a preference as a real estate agent positioning in the building, just say three-story building, because that's normal for sort of most low-rise apartment blocks.
A preference in floor levels or common walls?
Yeah, preference. So ground floor, first floor, or top floor?
I get top.
Go top floor. Yeah.
I get top. Yeah. Good, Bob. Thank you.
Stairs are a problem? Or not?
Stairs suck.
Yeah, buyers don't like stairs.
Nah, I think if you go more than 2 flights of stairs, it's frustrating. Prams and whatever. But that's it, guys and girls. We hope you educate a little bit on common walls, and this is something good to share with people that are new to property. So the first home buyers would find this handy. So share it with them.
Yeah.
Please.
Have a good day.
Thanks, Billy Bob. See you later. Bye-bye.